Su Chunlei observed Zhang Yi with growing concern. "Boss, why the rush? This isn't quite your usual style," he remarked. Zhang Yi, typically steadfast in all matters, now seemed to be acting impulsively, without much thought. Su Chunlei felt it was risky and ill-considered. "We don't know anything about the underground situation. Is rushing in really the right move?" he continued. "What if there's a contingency underground? We might be underestimating the enemy's combat capabilities." Su Chunlei, always cautious and most afraid of death, was even more careful than Zhang Yi, which was also his greatest weakness. This caution often caused him to miss many opportunities. Zhang Yi smiled reassuringly at Su Chunlei. "Don't worry, I wouldn't jest about everyone's safety. I've thoroughly prepared for everything," he assured. Looking into Zhang Yi's confident eyes, Su Chunlei found comfort and ventured, "Boss, why the secrecy? Why not be straightforward with us?" Zhang Yi replied, "All you need to know is that even in the most dangerous situations, I have a way to get everyone out safely. However, I can't disclose the specifics right now." Liang Yu turned to Zhang Yi, seeming to understand something. "I understand. Then there's no need for us to worry." Yang Xia stood up from her seat with a smile. "All right then, I'll prepare some food for everyone." Zhang Yi nodded. "Great, the more, the better. Yang Xia's abilities are becoming clearer to me each day." He understood that her food could not only replenish mutants' energy but was also effective for normal people's physical recovery. However, mutant abilities could only preserve the food for a maximum of a week before it disappeared. Yet, Zhang Yi's mutant space had perfectly solved this issue. Because of this, Zhang Yi daily instructed Yang Xia to produce mutant food diligently. No one knew how much food he had in his mutant space. This was one reason he dared to lead people into subway tunnels to fight zombies. Unlike Zhang Yi, the four major powers not only relied on a small number of capable individuals but also had to protect numerous architectural structures. The vast number of laborers and slaves made it difficult for them to deal with the constantly evolving zombies. Despite killing these zombies repeatedly, they seemed to multiply endlessly like locusts. Xiao Honglian sat atop a steel pipe, exhausted. "We can't sit idly waiting to die. If this continues, we'll have to abandon the oil refinery and resort to evading zombie attacks within a month," he lamented. At that moment, a soldier rushed in with a report. "Commander, all the zombies have been cleared out. They just need to be incinerated, and they'll be completely destroyed. However, we've lost 101 soldiers and laborers," he informed. Xiao Honglian looked up at him with fiery eyes, reflecting his sharpness. "We need to change tactics. We can't afford to passively defend forever," he declared. Zhuge Qingting approached, his combat uniform now stained with dust and blood. "Your Excellency means we should take the initiative to attack the zombie nest," he suggested. Xiao Honglian nodded. "The zombie movements are clearly controlled by someone, possibly a mutant or another intelligent creature. Regardless, we need to gather as much intelligence as possible to decisively solve this." Zhuge Qingting furrowed his brow. "But that's too risky. We have no idea how large the zombie group is. Blind investigation could lead to complete failure. Observation for a while longer might reveal that another force has a solution to this issue," Xiao Honglian chuckled. "Look at the size of this zombie horde. They won't be a walk in the park, especially by Shue sect. Those fools have gathered over 10,000 people. It's like they're offering a feast to the zombies." As he spoke, Xiao Honglian struggled to stand up. "We can't rely on anyone else. They can't save us. If we have to rely on someone, it should be ourselves," he asserted firmly. "Agreed. Let's decide on that," Xiao Honglian continued. "Select one of our captains to lead 2 mutants and 3 skilled soldiers to thoroughly investigate the zombie nest." Zhuge Qingting couldn't oppose Xiao Honglian's decision, realizing it was futile to depend on the enemy's forces. "The situation at Baishue sect is truly unstable," Zheng Yixian was briefed by a member who had compiled statistics. "Now, over 3,000 members of the sect have died, and those infected are at risk of turning. This has seriously shaken the newcomers' confidence," the report stated. However, Zheng Yixian remained unperturbed. Folding his arms calmly, he responded, "No worries, they're just grumbling a bit. Nothing aggressive. During these days, let's arrange for some of our people to spread false news within the sect. Tell them that nearly all survivors outside have been wiped out by zombies. Without Baishue sect's protection, they'll have no strength left to defend themselves against zombie attacks." Zheng Yixian instructed his subordinates, "Tell everyone that other forces have continuously failed against the zombie attacks. The death toll is rising, and some places are on the verge of collapse. That means more than half of the people in other factions have already perished. His subordinate brightened upon hearing Zhang Yixian's plan. That's clever. Without direct comparison, they won't feel the sting of loss. As long as they think the outside world is full of corpses, they'll feel fortunate in their current lives. They won't blame Baishua's sect. Zhang Yixian glanced at him and continued, they may also complain that they haven't shown enough reverence to Baishua's sect. We need to enhance their indoctrination and turn them into devout followers. Then they'll understand that joining Baishua's sect at this time is a stroke of luck. The subordinate applauded enthusiastically. Absolutely, your captain. I understand. We'll arrange it immediately. Among the new converts, they would assign some long-time followers to spread doctrines and conduct brainwashing rituals. This was an essential part of their strategy. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Zhang Yi and his formidable team prepared to enter the subway tunnels in search of the mysterious zombie king. The 4 individuals, accompanied by a cat, were fully equipped with meticulously crafted weapons and upgraded combat suits, significantly enhancing their defensive capabilities, even capable of stopping small-caliber sniper rounds. In preparation for a prolonged battle, each of them carried a large quantity of mutant food. Other supplies were unnecessary since they could conveniently retrieve them from Zhang Yi's mutant space whenever needed. Facing the dark doorway ahead, Zhang Yi once again explained the battle plan to everyone. Our main objective this time is to eliminate the zombie king. If we find it, I'm confident we can eradicate it completely. However, all of this must prioritize the safety of each individual. There's no need to recklessly engage the zombies. Killing more of them won't necessarily bring us closer to our goal. Everyone nodded in understanding. Zhang Yi then retrieved a red flare from his side, opened it, and tossed it into the cave. The red flare dropped to the ground, illuminating the darkness. Zhang Yi turned to Uncle Security and said, Uncle Vu, you go down first. Uncle Security was the team member with the strongest defensive capabilities, making it safest for him to descend first. Without hesitation, Uncle Security slid down along the cave entrance and, within seconds of landing, carefully observed his surroundings. He didn't notice any creature's reaction and then relayed to Zhang Yi via their communication devices, it's safe down here. You can come down. At this point, Zhang Yi and his team began their descent. As they set foot on the ground, they continued to survey the surroundings. They hadn't reached the subway tracks yet, only the entrance. Thanks to their night vision goggles, they easily identified the underground scene. Although they had witnessed many spectacular scenes before, the sight in front of them still sent shivers down their spines. On the walls were streaks of blood that had turned black, and even organs scattered on the ground below. Under their feet, the mud mixed with organs and congealed black blood emitted a foul stench. Fortunately, they had brought air-filtering masks to combat the putrid smell. Zhang Yi took a deep breath and spoke in a low voice, let's continue the search. They were at the last station. By following this direction, they could find traces of the zombie group. The intelligence of the zombie king isn't high, and it's still developing, so we should be able to find it without too much difficulty, Zhang Yi remarked. Along the way, they came across several incomplete skeletons in the dark subway. The bone fragments lacked flesh, with deep bite marks indicating they had been gnawed by zombies. Zhang Yi held his rifle cautiously as he observed their surroundings. The zombie's instinct is simply to eat. Infection is a passive ability. I suspect they turned on each other out of extreme hunger. Su Chunlei commented, it seems like they have quite the appetite. Judging by their behavior, they must need to consume a lot. Suddenly, he posed a curious question, hey, what if, in the city, there are more dead than living? If there are over 10 million zombies, would there be anything left for them to eat? Zhang Yi paused for a moment. Liang Yu and Uncle Security exchanged looks. They hadn't considered this before. All of them silently pondered the question. Zhang Yi acknowledged Su Chunlei's concerns with a nod. That's right. If these zombies can't find food, what will they do? Could they potentially spread from the city to other cities? He continued to advance forward, emphasizing, we shouldn't worry about them. What's important now is to ensure no zombies are lurking nearby. In the apocalypse, they didn't have time to concern themselves with others. Su Chunlei agreed silently. The team proceeded further inside. Starting from the initial checkpoint, they didn't have to worry about the risk of zombies attacking from behind. They walked a long distance, only coming across dry skeletons along the way, devoid of any flesh. Su Chunlei started to make small talk, perhaps to break the tense and silent atmosphere. These ones have really good teeth. How could they gnaw bones so clean? Looking at a particular skeleton, he remarked, the flesh and fat have been completely chewed off. They didn't waste any bit of food. Uncle Security responded, perhaps the meat had already rotted away. Hua Hua, the cat, led the way ahead, its tail swaying. Cats have a much stronger sense of smell than humans, making it a crucial leader in searching for the zombie group. Suddenly, Hua Hua's eyes widened, emitting a low growl full of vigilance. Zhang Yi swiftly raised his rifle and cautioned everyone to heighten their awareness.